This story's point of view is of a girl. I use Snapchat every day, just sending silly faces to my friends, until that one day, I received a Snapchat from someone that I don't know with the caption, "Hey cutie." I was flattered, sending one back, "Thanks." I got messages like this many times, compliments, still not knowing who the person was, but this is where it gets creepy. So I was in the library when I got a snap. It was a picture of me sitting down, the exact moment right now, and the caption read, "I see you." Now getting the feeling, I looked around, no person to be seen. My friends were playing one sick joke, I thought, but I was wrong. Every Snapchat this person sent to me was around campus with my friends, in class, coming out of bathrooms. How did I miss it? I stayed in my dorm the whole day, locked up, happy to not receive any snaps from this user. Until the morning. The pictures lasted for 1 second and then disappeared. The person was in a dark room, asleep, in a bed. It was me. Every picture was closer and closer to my face, and the videos heavy breathing. Close-ups to my face, I freaked. Called the police, went to my parents and escaped. I still have yet to find this person. Normally I'm not much of an app user. In fact, I had friends that called me a dumb phone up until about a year ago. Until I got my new phone. Honestly, I never felt like I was missing out. As cool as my friends made Twitter, Instagram, and whatever Angry Bird was, I always knew those things would take away from me and the thing that I really wanted to put my focus on, my studies. So when I got my first iPhone last year, it was a pretty big deal to my friends. I quickly realized how useful it really is. For the first 2 weeks, I went app crazy, though eventually it lost its pizzazz. Until David and I started dating. By then I got used to the smartphone world, and he, a tech nerd, was all about it. After a few months, he convinced me I needed to download Snapchat for funny conversations via pics. You can guess where it ended up. I didn't mind, however, since David and I have been going strong for a while and I trust him to not use any of the pictures against me. And over time we began to use the app mostly for enjoyment and humor for the most part. The first time it happened, I was walking out of the mall from work. I was on my phone, which I admit, I'm a little bit addicted to Angry Birds now, and Snapchat. Then I got a snap from David, but I could make it out to be some part of the ground and maybe part of a car. Assuming it was a mistake and nothing more, I thought little of it for the rest of the night until dinner. "Nice butt snap," I said with a wink. He looked up from his mac and cheese. "What are you talking about? You butt snapped me a pic of the ground or something earlier when I was leaving work at the mall. I couldn't tell what it was, but it looked like it was a mistake." David looked a bit confused and went back to eating. When I asked him, "What's up?" all he said was, "Must have been a software issue." He went back to his food. As a serious tech geek, he takes any accidents he has with his devices super personal. I let it go, and we go back to our normal routine. For the few days, all our snaps were the usual good-looking food, ridiculous selfie faces. But a few days later, I was walking out of work and my phone buzzed. I was crossing the parking lot when I clicked the screen and saw a notification from David. The snap lasted only 3 seconds and it was blurry, but looked like a very pixelated and zoomed in picture of a person, maybe with blonde hair. I thought it was strange, so I took a selfie and snapped him back. "What was that?" I received a reply almost immediately of David's face, but it was kinda weird. In fact, I could barely tell it was him because of that lighting. I figured it was some kind of weird filter or the fact that he seemed to have bright light on behind him. Almost immediately I received another one from him, this time clearly of his face with a confused expression. Then another came in. This one was a bit more zoomed out. It was of a blonde girl walking in a parking lot. It took me about 10 seconds to realize that girl in the picture was me. I had no idea how David did it, but honestly I was impressed. Startled at first, but impressed. I snapped back a kissy face with a heart emoji. David snapped back from work with a seemingly confused look on his face. I looked around the parking lot, but it was basically empty. He was nowhere in sight. "How are you doing that?" I sent back, giving the most ridiculous selfie face imaginable. "Doing what?" he sent back on yet another low-key work selfie. I got in the car thinking little of it and went home to make some lunch. As I walked, I naturally played with my phone. Even though it was broad daylight and I lived in a really nice neighborhood, eyes on your phone or on the ground are an easy way to keep you from making eye contact with any guys hanging around on the street. I texted a few of my friends about the weekend plans. Got another Snapchat from David. This time it was me getting out of the car. I stopped and looked around, figuring he must have been hiding somewhere. He's a total nerd like that. After a few moments, the breeze got too cold and I figured he'd meet me inside eventually. I continued walking down the street and another notification popped up, 2 new snaps. And it was my kitchen table with a large pot, sauce, and some spaghetti. Pasta for 4, it said. I replied with a smile and a sure and kept walking. The second snap played, but it was that one weird picture again. And the caption was, "I am not cold." A new Snapchat notification popped up. This one was me walking down the street just moments before. The caption was simple, "I like you." I replied thinking it was David with a snap in my face. "I like you too." He sent another one back with him in the kitchen with the cat. A moment later, a snap came up of a black screen with a giant emoji with a huge smile on it. I had to admit, however he was sending these snaps was quite impressive. I had to ask him tonight how he did all that. When I got to the house, I saw him cooking and didn't have time to ask how he played his pranks. The water was over boiling and the sauce was too hot and he was looking lost as ever in front of the stove. He's a shitty cook, but he tries, so I love him for that, and I jumped in. I got swept up in making dinner and forgot to ask him how he did all those pranks, until he went to the bathroom. I heard the door click and then my phone ring. A snap of me cooking popped up on the screen. "You're so pretty," it said. I just smiled and put my phone down. When he got out of the bathroom, dinner was ready and I told him to grab a plate. We served ourselves and began talking about our days. "So how do you keep doing those snaps?" I said. "And how do you get those pictures of me leaving work?" "What are you talking about?" I explained again the pictures he sent. He looked very confused, denying the whole thing. He's always had a nerdy, awkward sense of humor, and it wouldn't be the first time I ruined the joke or surprised too early. So I just smiled and changed the conversation. He played up the awkward, reserved part the entire time too, as if my question had truly confused him. Throughout the night, I got a few more from his account when I wasn't even paying attention. He must have sneakily gotten the pictures when I was across the room. For the most part, he was busy on his computer working on the program he and his friends were building, and I was on the couch sitting down reading a book until we went to bed. I figured that he was sending all these weird messages to get my attention. He would want all my attention. But when the lights went out, he kissed me goodnight and rolled over and started snoring. Almost immediately, then my phone buzzed. The Snapchat popped up earlier from me walking out of the car. A second was me in the car and the caption was, "I am always watching." The third one was of me sitting in the living room reading, with the caption of the heart emoji. The fourth one was me in the car during the quick moment I picked my nose. "Always," it said. I needed to know how the fuck he did this. It was going beyond cute and funny, now it's a little creepy. Most importantly, how did he get the shot of me in the car earlier? I was alone. Did he have a fucking hidden camera installed on my dash? This was going too far for a cute prank. I want to go check his phone to see if he had some kind of weird app installed, but it was powered off. So I want to go check his computer to see if he had something running on that. But that was also shut off. A little annoyed, I woke up and started yelling at him. He woke up confused and annoyed and answered with a sleepy, "Yes dear, I will take care of it tomorrow." And he just turned over and went back to bed, immediately regaining his snoring tempo. A new snap came in. I shoved the phone in his face, but he did not wake up. This one was of me reading a few hours earlier, only it was an ultra close-up. There's no way that was a hidden camera. The space in front of the couch was completely wide open, and it was taken at eye level, maybe 2 feet away from my face. "I like you," it said. The chill went down my spine. Almost too terrified to answer, I turned the camera on my phone. I put the Snapchat to selfie. I turned the flash on. The bright light was the only light in my nearly pitch black room. "Who the fuck is this?" I captioned to the photograph. No answer. I took another one with my flash. "Seriously, who is this?" A new snap came in of a black screen with a large smile emoji on it. "I am a friend," it said. "How the hell are you doing this?" No answer. I sent one more back. "Why are you doing this?" Still no answer. I sent back another one. "Please stop." A message of a black screen with a giant sad face emoji came back. "I am sorry." I sent back another one. "Just please go away. Just please go away." After a moment, another notification popped up. Another black screen with an unsure face emoji and caption, I'm sorry, Sasha, but I cannot do that. I sent one last reply with a single word, why? A few moments later passed, then my phone buzzed again with a Snapchat notification. I opened it, and my blood ran cold. The Snapchat displayed a picture that took me a second to comprehend. There in the center of the screen was a girl. Me, sitting in my bed. It seems like the picture was just barely taken. I could see David sleeping right next to me, and our cat sleeping in the corner. The picture must have been taken from not even 5 feet away. Before I had a chance to scream, I felt a cold whisper in my ear. Because I like you. My partner and I recently moved back into my childhood home, while our old house is being built to save some cash, and not to move instantly from our rental when it was complete. My parents own 3 Australian native birds, and earlier tonight, I was updating my Snapchat story to show my friends, as many of them asked what were the birds' names and what did they look like. I took 3 Snapchat videos, one after another, and just put them all on my story, without worrying about retakes. Anyways, within 15 minutes of uploading, I received a message from one of my good but not great friends. He said, ha 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 ha, you bearded beast, those birds look mad. By the way, the fuck was that in the window behind you? I had no idea what he was going on about. So I went and watched my own Snapchat stories a couple times. The third one, I saw what he was talking about and my stomach sank. I almost started to have a panic attack. And I am still pretty shaken up. I immediately saved my story videos and put them on my computer so I could see them larger. In the last Snapchat video I sent, it kinda looks like something is at the door, looking in with its hands cupped in against the door. It's very hard to tell, because Snapchat videos are very poor quality, and the door is only in frame for about a second. Whatever was in the third Snapchat video, it was definitely not in the first one when the door was in full view. I was the only person at home at the time, and that particular door leads to the backyard, which is only accessible via a single lock gate. To add some backstory to why this is really freaking me out, from about 8 until 10 I had episodes of sleep paralysis. Maybe once or twice a month, where I felt weight sitting on my chest and I could not breathe for 40 seconds at a time. This led to anxiety about bedtime. At age 12 or 13, for seeming no reason at all, I started to have episodes almost every night that lasted minutes to 10 minutes. During these episodes, I could not breathe, I could not move. The worst thing about these episodes, however, is that it felt like there was someone in the room and they wanted to harm me. At roughly age 14, things really took a turn. I started to hear and see things maybe 1 in 10 of my episodes. They were usually thuds or creaks. However, when it came to seeing things, there was always one recurring thing. A faceless person looking into my bedroom with their hands cupped looking into the glass. Of course, of a 1 to 10 minute episode, this person would stand there and just look at me. Whenever the episode ended, the person was just gone. For the course of 4 years, this occurred quite regularly. It always really made me feel totally helpless and terrified. I never got used to it. When I moved out at age 18, I never had another episode where I saw anything. I'm 26 years old now and I very occasionally have small episodes, but those only feel heavy chested. To cut a very long story short, whatever is there in my Snapchat video looks almost 100% to what I would see as a teenager during my sleep paralysis episodes. And I've been in nervous wreck all night over it. To me it kinda looks like a face to the glass, 2 hands on either side, and it just scares the shit out of me.